obviously we have Erin and we have Janie. I'm so excited that Janie's here too. But
Let me
as
get
you
out of
all
this.
know, we dropped Erin's Bookbinding for Beginners course last month, which is kind of it's a different project than we're used to from Erin. Erin's known as the bag guy, not the book guy. But anyways, I'm going to have him tell us how I guess how he got into that, because I think that's a fun thing. But for maybe those of you that might not know much about Aaron, he's been doing this for a long time. Really got started with leathercraft in the army. I hear that quite a bit. I think it's a good decompress outlet while doing that high stress job. And as we know, kind of the rest is history. They purchased makers. He's been teaching online. I think he's one of the pioneers of that, teaching leathercraft on YouTube. And he's just an all right guy, and he's a talent. So we're so grateful to have him here to kind of walk us through a live demo, which is something we've never done before because a lot of our courses don't have, I guess, moments where we could even try to do that. So this is fun. I'm excited about it. But Erin, I just do want to first talk about how you got into this whole thing.
All right. So last year, Janie and I went to the which
Salem.
place? Salem. We went to Salem, Massachusetts. And Janie's wanted to go there for a long time, and I was like, "All right, let's go." She's like, "Can I sign us up for activities?" Oh, good God, yeah, I guess. So we she signed us up for. She wanted to sign us up for a bookbinding class, and they're like, "Oh, you make a spell book," and like, whatever. So anyway, so we end up going to this class, and I'll admit I had fun, even though, they're like, it's a leather bound book. I'm like,
It was leather.
I mean, it was
It was
leather, don't get me wrong, but
I mean, they
yeah,
already clicked out.
yeah, but I'm just like, I don't know. Anyway, I had zero expectations and they were all met. Um,
You had fun,
I did have fun, obviously. I mean, it did get me started wanting to do something new. So,
but it's nothing like you do now.
yeah, so it was like you're using like that heavy leather like round lace like cord to sew your book together and stuff, which I mean for what they were doing that was pretty on point and pretty all right, because you were making a very rugged book, but it just sewing the pages together with that cord and making such a simple book in just an hour or two, I'm like, okay,
Yeah, he
now we
was.
got to find out more about this bookbinding stuff because I
You
mean
were clapping. I made it. I'm like, yeah. He's like,
yeah, like
yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. We've still got the little books we made and
Yeah.
everything. I think I gave mine to Tanner. But it was just, it made me start going down the rabbit hole of, okay, well, how do real bookbinders bind real books? And like the exact same way, but with thread. And so, yeah, started
Oh,
looking into it and doing it some more. And then Janie got mad at me because I took it
took it
beyond.
over.
Yeah.
He took it over. It was going to be my fault because I enjoyed it. Epic. But Facebook said it's exactly a year ago today.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Well,
Oh,
there you
really?
there we
Oh
exactly.
go.
my gosh. Well, the irony.
Yep.
So I'd made a couple of books, and as usual, I share my stuff on the Facebook pages and stuff, and everybody was like, "Oh man, how did you do that?" And I'm like, well, "It's actually way easier than you would think." So I thought, well, why not make it into a class and show others how to do it? So
And here we are.
brings us to Illume and our live class at shows and stuff like that.
Yeah. My book he made me one and I travel with it. It's my travel book, and when I have good thoughts or what I think are good ideas, I write them down inside my
Happy thoughts.
special book that Erin made me, and I love it. It's very, very nice. Um,
Wow.
Well, I want to, well, thanks for sharing that with us. I think it's interesting. As artisans, I think we're inspired by everything. And although you could hear the excitement in Aaron's tone about the book that he made for spells
Like I
in
was so excited.
Salem, but it inspired him to dive deeper into what that really looked like and to, to be able to do a more professional binding for a book. And I think it's a really great skill as a leather crafter. I think anybody that has a small business, like this could be a really cool thing that you offer. Everybody uses a notebook. Everybody, I mean, what a cool gift. What a cool thing to do to be able to, rebind somebody's Bible or, rather than make a cover for it or, you know, corporate gifts or employee gifts or graduations or wedding books. I mean, I think there's endless possibilities with this skill set, and to Aaron's point, it's easier than you think. So, we are going to get into a demo because I don't know how many of you have had some time to get into Aaron's course, but one of the meat of the book is called a signature, and that's the paper. The paper you build them in signatures, and I speak that language because we publish a magazine. So we speak signature language over here at Illume. And so I wanted Aaron to demonstrate that process during the live because A, why not? Why not? And to have, to be able to watch him go through that and see just how easy it is. And then, most of us aren't familiar with that terminology. If we're not actually in publishing or doing something in the book magazine type industry, we probably didn't even know what that was. I didn't when we acquired the magazine. I was speaking with my printer and they were like, "How many signatures?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I don't even know what that is."
How many does it
So
take to
I
sign a
had to
check?
be
Yeah,
educated.
I didn't.
So, anywho, well, I think let's just get on with it. And then while Aaron's demonstrating, he's going to obviously talk us through what he's doing. But then I also want you guys to, pipe in, ask questions as he goes. And if there's any other questions that have come up, if some of you have been in the course and have some questions on certain aspects of the process, please, by all means, join the conversation. We encourage and want that because I get really sick of listening to myself.
Well,
So,
and I opened the chat too in case, at home I have no speaker. So I opened the chat so we can see it if they want to type any questions.
amazing. So, do that as well. Okay, we're going to just get on with this. Go
Right
at
on.
it.
So first, I'll just show you a couple of the books I've made here. Just some of the sample books that I've had a lot of fun with. Um, Most of the books I've made have been this size right here. Basically, if you took an 8.5 or eight,
8 by 11.
Eight and a
yeah,
half
eight and
by
a half by
11.
11,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, 8.5 by 11 inch piece of paper and fold it in half. This is the book you make. And that's what I'll do in the demo of making a signature here. But this was, I think, the second book I had made.
Mhm.
Maybe it was the first one that I made myself. Yeah. And anyway, this is the one I keep in my backpack, and I do write some notes in it. Like Misty said, when I'm on the road, this is my road book. Um, but then I also I love the classic look of books that have I don't know what these are called, honestly, but it's like a leather
Like
band that's
embossed, huh?
underneath the thread inside there. And I probably should look up what those are actually called, but I really think that those are fun to add into it and give it kind of a classic look. But other than that, this is the exact same book, just sewn together a little bit different way because of those. And we really need, maybe next time I'm in the Illume studio, maybe we should do an excerpt, like an addition to class just on doing
The spine.
that type stuff. So we'll just talk about that later. Yeah. And then other than that, then I was like, well, let's make some really cool book covers. And so once again, the book's made the exact same way, but I took and, as a leather worker, I'm more interested in the cover now that I know how to sew the books or the pages together. And so I just cut this front cover is 3 pieces of leather thick. There's the lining, and then there's the center part where I cut the hide shape and the knife shape out. And then I covered it with another piece and just glued it all together really, really well and used a modeling spoon to mold around it. And I figured out how to make these cool old embossed books that day. So that's one of the cool things I like about the bookbinding stuff is just the idea that sewing the pages together is like the simplest part of it all. After you know that, then just the world is your oyster and just go make all the cool books you want, all the different ways you want.
I think you putting the ribbon in is really makes it classy.
Oh,
Isn't
yeah.
that, that older look.
When I remember to, I put a ribbon, one of those little ribbon bookmarks in it too, and that really helps out. This was the first book that I did that to, and unfortunately I cut it too short and you can't just like pull it around like you're supposed to. But this is our shop secrets book here in our shop. Basically everything that we produce gets written down in this book first, as it's a rough draft before it's typed up later.
And
But
that's
anyway,
the DTF.
yeah, and then this was like an iron-on transfer that Janie made on her DTF printer for me. But yeah, this is the first one that I'd made that had like the 3-piece, the front cover, back cover, and a binding. And then also this paper is twice as big. This paper started out as 22 inches by 8.5 inches. So when it's made into a book, that book is the size of a piece of paper.
And I like these books. I
So,
like bigger books.
yeah.
But this one seems more like that one's pretty hard, and this one it's just the kind of
Yeah, it's a little bit flexible. Like a lot of people put chipboard or something like that in there and make them really hard and cover them with thinner leather. I just make mine out of thicker leather, and then they're still kind of flexible too. Anyway, so like we talked about, though, we'll show you a signature. Now, this is a book that I have started and I never finished. So it is all the signatures already glued together and sewn together and everything. I just need to build a cover for it. And so there's what that looks like with its stitching on it and all that. Can't tell if it focuses on it.
Not so much.
Focus.
Come on, you can do it. Ooh, almost. You can
Between
almost see it.
we have a lot of fun with this. So anyway, but then this is the one that never makes Janie smile when I bring it out, but she wants a full-size book, and I did start her one, and I did all the hard work. Here's all the bound signatures. They're already glued. They're already everything. It's just not a finished book yet. So
How long has it been in the press?
it's still pressing.
6 months?
When I say pressing, kind of depressing.
Yeah, it is depressing.
So anyway, yeah, so I need to finish this one day. I've even picked out the leather that I think she would like for it. I just haven't finished it.
Cobbler's kids.
Yep, that was the saying that, the cobbler's kids don't have any shoes. So the cobbler's too busy making everybody else the shoes.
Here, I'll
there you
take
go.
it.
All right. So the signatures, though, I use this paper right here. It's really nice paper. I got it on Amazon, 32-pound paper. Yeah, it's just slightly heavier than normal printing paper, even though other than that, it is normal printing paper. But I like the thickness of it. It feels real professional and nice. I mean, it really feels like a custom made book when I use this. And again, I don't think the brand or anything matters. I think it's that it's 32-pound paper is what makes it a little bit special. It's because it's heavy.
But I wouldn't get gloss, because wouldn't glossy wouldn't hold the ink very well, would it?
I don't think so. But when I make a signature, I take six sheets of that paper. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to angle my camera down just a little bit more so it can see my desk better. There we go. It sees the desk and the back of my laptop. So anyway, 6 sheets is what I found to be a nice size signature. You can do more, I'm sure. You can do less, I'm sure, but 6 makes a really nice average. For instance, this is what, 11 of them, I think.
Yeah.
10. This is 10 signatures of 6 pages. So folded in half, that's 60 sheets of paper folded in half. This is a 120-page book.
Way to
Okay.
go, Rain Man.
I know, right?
That's
Let's go to
really
Vegas, count some
impressive.
cards. I did.
Call Anna Lynn.
Yeah.
Load up, girl. We're going.
So anyway, it's a very simple process. You take those 6 pages and you fold them in half as nice and neat and straight as you know how.
I was going to take notes for you, but my book's not finished.
I mean, the writing part's ready.
No.
So, and then I'll take a bone folder or something like that.
I see you, Beth.
Where'd it go? There's one. This isn't necessarily a bone folder. It's just this modeling tool that Barry King makes that works pretty good for this. And you really want to smooth those pages down on their crease nicely, like so. And once you have your number of signatures folded and ready and everything, that's when you go to start poking your holes. I haven't done the math on it yet. I wanted to print out some that were like calendars or something that when you opened a page in the book, then it would be like January's calendar. But I'm not smart enough to print them in such an order that the left side of January and the right side of January be on the same dadgum page. So I was like, well, I could make the book out of 12 signatures, and every centerfold of the signature would have a full calendar in it. But good luck finding your year's calendar doing that.
So I have a question. If you bent these and let's say you didn't get them even, have you ever like tried to rebend it, or do you just go to a new book?
I would start over. Honestly, paper's cheap, and trying to straighten it unless it was so out of whack that a new crease would be easy to do, but trying to put a crease right beside the other crease, I
You just see it inside the book.
This would now be my scrap paper for when I'm gluing later and stuff like that. It would be my sacrificial gluing paper. And then we talk about it in the course, but to punch the holes in this, it's called a bookbinding cradle. Or you can, in the course, I showed you how to not have to use a bookbinding cradle, even though I did show one in the course just so people would be aware. This one was 3D printed for me by, who made this for me?
Careful.
Janie made it. So
I was like, whoa, wait, what?
Anyway, so Janie Sue made this one for me, and she's made enough that when we have a class that everybody in the class can use one if they like, even though also in the live class I show people how not to have to depend on one if they don't have one. But they make it really easy because you take your signatures and you just open them up, you put them in the cradle, and you bump them to the end. And then you just decide where you want your holes. Like these are all numbered. You can do them as often or as few as you want. Generally on the book this size, I do 5 holes. So I'll just kind of
So it doesn't have to be even?
Spread out. Nope. Doesn't have to be even. It doesn't matter if it's even or odd. But you can just spread out where you want your holes enough that they're evenly spaced or whatever. And that's pretty much it until you make a bunch of them and then you get to sew it together. And
that's in the Illume video.
Yeah. Then you watch the video.
That
or you take a class.
Or come to class.
Or come to class.
Or come to class. I love where you ended because Rachel, who is our instructional designer here at Illume, she puts together all the really great downloadable guides and the checklists, and she kind of structures things so that they're really, really nice, and so you're learning in the correct order of things. And you know, her and Derek work closely together, but she created a really cool it's called, hang on, it's how to chain stitch your signatures together. So it's a little downloadable guide that, for example, because The let me get to the course. I mean, the course,
So Misty,
Erin
that
walks.
PDF is pinned in the chat.
Oh, cool. Thanks. Thanks, Derek. So that's in the chat, so you guys can check that out. But after that, I mean, Erin's got like a 26-minute video on, chain stitching those signatures together. But also, Rachel created a really great downloadable guide. So if you wanted to just print it, it's got pictures, it's got step-by-step, verbiage, I guess, in there. So if you needed, maybe you had to come back to it, you could print that and just go to town without having to get into the course until you were ready for the next step. But check that out. I think that's interesting. Tell us though next, because in the course we do have a couple of different cover options. One's more, I'm going to say less structured than the other. So tell us what the difference is. Like once we've got the signature built and glued and we're ready to do the outside, the cover, what is the difference between option 1 and option 2?
So I don't have any of the option 1 ones here, but it was just a very simple wraparound cover that.
Is that like mine?
I'm sorry?
Is that like mine?
No, I think yours was option 2. I don't remember. I don't remember which one I gave you.
I'm gonna look. Hang on.
But one of them, I believe, was a much softer cover, and it was, I would have to look to know, or to remember what we did on the video. But yeah, it was much simpler to glue together and all that. And then the second one was a much more professional looking, like rigid cover that, even though it's still slightly flexible, it's much more, it's like the books that I've shown you here. Is Misty still with us?
She went to go find her book.
I've hid my amazing, I don't know where it's at, somewhere.
It's traveling.
It's
You're traveling back.
traveling without me.
Rude. So much she can't find it.
So
That's rude. I don't know where it is.
I did see one day on Facebook, I saw a really, really neat little project. And here it is. It's just the cutest little book. I just put my maker's mark on the front of it. But it is.
Oh, there we go.
And it's just the tiniest little book. It's one signature. I think I only did like 3, maybe 4 pages. And yeah, I folded them in half and wrapped a piece of leather around it. There was no gluing, no nothing. I walked over to my sewing machine and threw some stitches in it, and it just made the cutest little book you ever saw. Now, the one I saw online also had a hole punched in it, and it was a keychain.
Cute.
And I just thought that was the neatest little, I mean, I just looked at the picture of the one online. I was like, I can make that. And 5 minutes later, I had one too. So
nice.
It's a neat little thing to do with scraps. It could be a neat little thing to kind of church up your own product or something. Like if you made a bag, that'd make a cute little thing to hang off the bag handle or whatever with your maker's mark on it. Yeah, Beth's excited up
Beth's
there.
like, yes, I'm doing that.
Yeah. And then Beth asked, would the bookbinding cradle be something that makers will sell? We can talk about that. I mean, there's no reason we shouldn't link all that up. So
yeah, seriously.
And then what do I use for a press? I do have a book press. It's a giant heavy cast iron, has a big wheel on the top of it, and it really scrunches them down. But honestly, there's a lot of people that just use a couple of bricks that are wrapped in paper, and they just set it on top of it overnight, and it just smushes it down nicely, and there you go.
So something heavy.
Yeah, just something
works
heavy
just
is all
fine.
you really need. The problem with bookbinding presses is they're not hard to find. You can find them on eBay or Facebook Marketplace, but they're kind of really sought after. People like them as like a decoration in their house, and so to find a decent one, like you're going to pay a lot of money for it. So
That's good to know.
yeah,
So
I
so
was,
maybe whatever heavy things you have lying about is a better option. Unless you
yeah,
get really
I mean,
serious about it,
like I
then get
took,
yourself a press.
yeah. And then, I mean, if you really want to be more accurate than just a brick or something, just get a nice flat piece of wood, put that on it, then put the brick on top of that, and it would press more evenly. And again, just set it overnight. You'd be amazed how flat that is the next morning.
Or just tell somebody on Facebook, because that's how everybody just like, oh, I had one in my garage. Do you want it, Aaron? I'll bring it to you.
Yeah, I had a guy bring me
Yeah.
one at Sheridan, and I need to get it welded. The base plate of it was cracked all the way through, and it's not like broken open, but the base plate does need to be spot welded back together before I go putting a couple 100 pounds of pressure on it. But yeah, a guy just brought me one at Sheridan. Was like, here, I figured you could use this.
Love
So,
it.
yeah.
That's cool. Very cool. Um, yeah. Anybody have any other questions on this specific course? On the process of signatures and any of that? I have a question. So when you've got all your signatures together, because I haven't watched the whole course, I'm sorry. I haven't. I'm admitting to that. But explain, do you just glue the spine? Is that what you're gluing? And what type of glue, like
So
what are
yeah,
you gluing and how do you not get it all over the place? You know, how do you not
so
let
yeah,
it like
we
seep
have
through?
I have a couple of specialty tools that I bought because I did
Uh,
want to do several of these. So I have a what's called a standing press, which basically is a press that holds the book this way.
okay.
And that makes it much easier to spread your glue on your spine and
Yeah.
everything. But once again, you can take those same two bricks, set them up on your desk with it between it. It doesn't have to press them hard. It just has to hold it upright so that
Right.
you can spread your glue without it dripping, off.
Right.
Um, the glue I use, I know we talked about it in the course itself.
Yes.
It's very inexpensive. I mean, a giant bottle of it was like $8 on Amazon. And so far, I've made a bunch of books. We've had several classes make a bunch of books. Like I've got two of those 8-ounce jars and they are bottles and they've lasted a really long time. It looks amazingly like Elmer's glue, but it works better than regular Elmer's glue does.
Okay.
It doesn't smell bad either.
Yeah, no, and it even smells a lot just like Elmer's glue. But yeah, it's got some different characteristics to it than Elmer's because I did in a pinch make one out of Elmer's and it didn't hold as well.
Okay. That's
Just
good to know.
just so you know. Um,
And you would agree
Yeah.
that there's only some things you can learn on the video or in class.
right.
You can't get it all right here, Misty. Gotta
Okay,
hold a little
and
bit back.
I can put the
it's true.
can find
It's
it on
called
Amazon quick and put the title of the glue in there.
Yeah.
well on the supply checklist, it's called PVA glue. Is
Yeah.
that correct?
So PVA glue is basically your white Elmer's type glue. Yeah. But I
Okay, I
will
dropped.
find the name of it on Amazon here that I used in my order history.
Love it.
And we order a lot of glue stuff.
We order a lot of stuff.
All right, I'm just going to type it into the chat here in case anybody's interested.
Oh, there it is. PVA glue.
Sweet.
Misty wrote it in.
Yeah.
Love it. Very cool. Well, I guess I'd love to know if any of you that are with us have made a book or are thinking of making one. I think this might be something I could
Misty, can you speak up a
potentially
little bit?
do. Yes, am I feeling far away?
You are, and we have it turned all the way up. I don't know if it's just us, but
What I was asking was, have any of you, A, made a book, or B, are thinking of making a book? And if you have or are, what did you do? What was it for? I'd love to know, because I think there's so many possibilities here.
I had to throw mine away because they looked really sad next to yours.
Aw.
Not my big book. I still have my big book.
I'm like,
It's
aw.
But my other ones, they look so sad. I just had to throw them away. Janie,
I'm
what'd you make?
afraid that's what would happen with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just can't imagine. Oh, good question.
Okay, so Mike, that's actually a really good question. And of course, the minute I started, showing people like, oh, hey, I made this book, I instantly had people like, oh, I've got this old family Bible. Can you read mine? No, I cannot. Like, I am sorry, I do not work for the Library of Congress. I am not I do not belong in the Vatican's catacombs. Like, no.
Have you
So,
looked into what's the difference then?
I honestly wouldn't know, but I figure it's, a lot of things like that are going to be old and fragile, and I don't want my first screw up on this to be somebody's family heirloom.
Especially the
Yeah.
Bible. Jesus would
Yeah,
not have.
and I mean, I've I've got other ways to disappoint our Lord. I don't need to do it to his book. So
That is too funny. Yeah, I wondered, I mean, I'm sure a lot of the same principles apply. It would just be a bit more delicate,
Well, I wonder
right?
how you would clean the old supply off the book because there's still some attached to reapply
Right.
the glue. And that is probably the trickiest thing.
Yeah.
Beth knows.
I
She's
mean,
shaking her head. Look at her.
it's the same as trying to like restore an old painting or something. I just wouldn't even know where to start. Like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. My skills are not at that level quite yet.
Aaron's class did come with the disclaimer. This is how a leatherworker binds a book.
Yes.
So
There you go.
Hey,
No.
that's a great
And of
catch.
course, I don't want people to think that, I'm incapable of doing something like restoring their family Bible. So instead, I just get kind of snooty with my answer, and I'm like, I don't work on old things. And that usually gets them to walk away quickly.
And never
We
return.
covered our bases, right?
I would
Covered
love to see
our
what everybody
bases.
makes. And in the class, like in Prescott and stuff, they did the bookbinding. And every book, even though it might have been the same color leather, was different in some way. And it was just gorgeous. Every single one of them.
Yeah, the live classes that we've done have turned out really well. People have really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. We got another one coming up at the Waco show. So yeah, it's been a good class, and I really think that when you give any class, you're always nervous that like the people won't enjoy it, or you always want everybody's project to turn out nicely, and of course with different skill levels and stuff that you're working with, but everybody's had great books so far, so we're hoping to keep that streak alive.
And it's not a stressful class. Like you are learning a bunch of stuff, but you don't have a sewing machine that you have to learn or any. So it's a sit down. It's just a really relaxed class.
That's good to know. I mean, it sometimes I think even not thinking about projects in the classroom setting, but I'm not a leather worker, but I would imagine sometimes you just need to put the really big, giant, labor intensive 87 step project away for a minute and just do something that's like a little less stressful and fun. Then you can go back to that other thing. I think we all need things like that in our lives. So it might be a good, I don't know, decompress project from a super intense one. I don't know. Yeah, cool. Well, I guess I have a couple of things. First, anyone have any other questions for Erin tonight?
Yes. When are you going to finish my book? Everybody wants
Great
to know.
question.
I
That's
can
a
Why-
great
see it in people's
question.
faces.
Look at Beth and
Yeah.
Matthew right there. They are intrigued.
I love this. One thing, just an announcement here for all of you. One thing that we have started doing is taking Illume on tour. So we are traveling to various places across the country. We've just started to do that. We started with Aaron to kind of test the waters in our various makers locations, and he's just this weekend going to wrap up round 2 of on tour, and that's gone very well. So Janie has worked her tail off to find really great locations in other parts of the country, because we want to be able to offer these in-person opportunities to all of you more often. And especially, you know, if you guys aren't able to make it to a show, it's kind of nice to hopefully get into a place where it feels more doable, like a 4-hour drive. You might do that rather than, you know, fly across the country and then get in a car and drive 3 hours to get to the show, because that's how a lot of them are. Anyways, so I would encourage you guys to go to our website under the events. There's a subcategory called in-person classes, and you can check out what we've got on the schedule so far. We're looking to, you know, kind of ramp that up and get various instructors from our Illume community on the calendar. So please, 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 please let us know. Beth, you're going to be in Waco this weekend. Yay! We're so excited that you're coming. That's so exciting. But let us know. Let us know where you are in the community, and let us know what you'd like to learn in person. I mean, the really great thing about our in-person classes is we're trying to align those with courses that already exist. So if you aren't like a monthly subscriber or an annual subscriber, you'd still have the opportunity to own that course. And because it would come with the in-person class purchase, which is kind of a cool thing. But go and check those out. Our next class that we're hosting is with Bianca Isabel, who isn't an Illume instructor yet, but she's thinking about it, and we're hoping to get her in studio in the near future to film some classes. But she's an incredible figure carver and is really, really good with horses and animals. She gets a lot of good depth, and they're very realistic. She gets the details right so they don't look wonky. She's really, really good. Anyways, we would love to have you check that out. And then, of course, next month, because Derek's going to remind me, we are going to be live with Trevor Alexander. He dropped a whole bunch of Saddle E courses this month on the platform. And so we're going to be talking with him about his courses. So if any of you are into saddle making, Trevor will be here next month to answer your questions. And who knows, maybe I'll make him demo something too. I don't know, maybe.
And Trevor's funny. He's fun.
Yeah, he's fun. I'm
Trevor
gonna have
is
to look
fun.
onto that one just to get him riled up.
You know what he
should.
did to Aaron and Pendleton? Aaron had a class after him, and he was like, "Hey, I hid something in the class for you. We'll see if you can find it." You know, he didn't hide anything, but we're looking like, "Oh my God, if we get on the plane, are we going to get arrested?" You know,
Yeah.
he's like, "I put it in your bag."
There's a pound of heroin in your suitcase.
Yeah. And you
Oh
never know.
boy. Rochelle, HR.
Have you met the guy?
Yeah. You know, and that's what he was doing, the knife sharpening. I was like, "Oh my God, what if you put one of these big butcher knives in our like carry-on or something?"
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Oh, that's too good. Well, anything else, Derek, that I've missed for tonight?
No, I think we've covered all of our bases there.
our housekeeping. I love it. Well, as always, we thank everybody for being here, taking the time to be here live and in person. If there is something that we can do better, y'all let us know, because we are all ears. We want this to be valuable for all of you. And on that note, I'll let you get back at it. Thank you, Erin. Thank you, Janie. Thank you,
for
everybody
inviting us.
else. Have a good night.
See you guys.
Apparently, we'll see you this weekend, Beth.
Yeah, Beth,
Bye.
we'll talk about this book.